We've got a lot to break down today from Cowboys mandatory minicamp, and there's no shortage of buzz coming out of the Star. With day 1 in the books and day 2 underway, several key storylines have already started to form, especially around the quarterback-receiver connections and battles for roster spots. Let's start where the excitement is, the budding chemistry between Dak Prescott and George Pickens. It's early, but Pickens has clearly made a strong impression in minicamp. Reports from the media suggest Prescott and Pickens connected 5 times during team drills on day 1, a remarkable stat considering Prescott only attempted 19 passes. That's over a quarter of his throws going Pickens' way, which tells you something about where the trust already lies. I'm going ahead and calling it the Dickens combo Prescott and Pickens, because not only is it catchy, it's starting to feel like something real. Dak has strung together a solid stretch of practices, both in OTAs and now in minicamp. From what's been open to the media, it looks like he's had at least 3 or 4 good sessions out of 5, maybe even more. It's the kind of consistency you want to see from your franchise quarterback as the team starts to shift gears toward training camp. And it's not just Pickens, CeeDee Lamb is right there in sync as well, forming a potentially dynamic trio that already appears to be clicking. Now, media hasn't been allowed to post video from these sessions, which is always a bit frustrating, but multiple beat writers and insiders have tweeted about impressive plays, like a beautiful sideline grab by Pickens over Israel Mukwama that point to real momentum building. He's doing what he does best, working the boundary and making contested catches outside the numbers. If you were looking for a reason to get hyped during what we like to call optimism season, George Pickens just gave you one. So here's a fun question for the comments. How many touchdowns do you think George Pickens will score this season in a Cowboys uniform? Sound off below, and let's see who gets the closest by the end of the year. But it wasn't just the Prescott-Pickens show. The second-team offense, led by rookie quarterback Joe Milton, also made some noise. Milton had what some are calling a perfect performance, no incompletions in his Tuesday reps. That's the version of Joe Milton the Cowboys want to see. Sure, it's still early, and he's playing against the back end of the depth chart, but this was a positive sign. His primary target throughout the day was Jalen Cropper, who continues to turn heads with his consistency and separation. Multiple media members praised Cropper's performance, and while his path to the 53-man roster is definitely uphill, he's doing everything he can to stick around either as a depth piece or on the practice squad. Let's be honest, there's a logjam at wide receiver. Lamb, Pickens, Tolbert, Turpin, and probably Mingo all look like locks. That leaves very limited room for players like Cropper, Jalen Brooks, Racey McMath, Tyron Billy Johnson, and others to break through. Even still, Cropper's stock is rising, and if he keeps showing up like this, he could either find a way onto the back end of the roster or be one of the first call-ups from the practice squad if injuries hit. As for Joe Milton, the upside is real. His athleticism jumps off the field, and he's shown flashes of strong decision-making in these low-contact sessions. The structure of OTAs and minicamp is generally set up to help quarterbacks look good, particularly when defenses are playing soft and can't be overly physical. If Milton and Will Grier weren't showing flashes in these settings, it'd actually be more concerning than encouraging. We'll see if Milton can keep this up on day 2 and heading into training camp. And speaking of trending upward, how about Jonathan Mingo? According to Cowboys reporter Nick Harris, Mingo saw the second most targets during Tuesday's session, and he made the most of them. This is exactly what the Cowboys need to see stacking good days, building rhythm, and proving that last year's underwhelming stint after his trade from the Panthers is behind him. His chemistry with the quarterbacks, especially now that they're finding him in stride, has been a noticeable step forward. Mingo has a real opportunity here to push Jalen Tolbert and earn rotational snaps behind Lamb and Pickens. Between Mingo and Turpin, the depth at wide receiver looks a lot more reassuring than it did just a few weeks ago. So, how confident are you in this Cowboys wide receiver group as it stands? Give me a 1 to 10 in the comments. I want to know where you think this unit ranks. Now, let's talk tight ends. Brevin Spanford continues to get meaningful reps with the first team, which is notable. He didn't haul in many passes during this minicamp window, but his size and movement stood out. He looks fluid, and he's clearly being evaluated seriously by the coaching staff. Right now, it seems like Jake Ferguson and Luke Schoonmaker are roster locks, and Spanford is working his way into that conversation. The real question is whether he's climbing the depth chart at Schoonmaker's expense. Ferguson's job as TA1 looks safe for now, but if Spanford continues to improve as both a blocker and an athlete, we could see a real competition for that TE2 role come training camp. We'll keep tabs on that battle, especially once preseason games start and Princeton Font, who has history with Milton, gets his shot to impress. For now, Spanford is trending up, and that may be cause for concern if you are expecting Schoonmaker to solidify himself this summer. Let's shift gears quickly for a sponsor break. Summer is here, and that means it's time to let those legs breathe. If your wardrobe's stuck in the past with decade-old cargo shorts or gym sweats, do yourself a favor and check out the lined swim collection from Chubbies. Their biggest sale of the year is going on right now with shorts and swim trunks starting at just $45, plus up to 65% off select gear. Whether you're hitting the pool, the golf course, or a summer cookout, Chubbies has you covered. Their stretch shorts come in multiple lengths with a relaxed fit, elastic waistband, and are built for comfort. Pair them with a performance polo, and you're ready for anything. Check out chubbyshorts.com/hat or use promo code CHAT for up to 20% off if you miss the sale. Support the show and your legs by grabbing your summer fits before they're gone. Now, back to football. Let's hit on the one downside so far, the secondary. It's hard to say they had a great day, which may not be a huge surprise considering how dominant the quarterbacks and receivers have looked. Still, Kaiir Elam did notch a pass breakup, even if it came on a free play where the ball arguably should have been intercepted. You take the positive reps where you can get them, but overall, it's been a rough stretch for the DBs. Part of the issue? Injuries. The secondary is banged up. Donovan Wilson and Marquise Bell have been absent, and although Malik Hooker returned, they're still without Trayvon Diggs, Savion Redwell, and Josh Butler. Even Andrew Booth Jr. has been limited, and Kalen Carson is slowly ramping up. That's left guys like Elam, Mukwamu, and Darren Bland to carry the load. Bland, by the way, has been operating as the nickel, and it's starting to feel like that's where he'll stick once the full group is healthy again. Right now, the second-team receivers are carving up a third-string secondary. Most of those defenders won't make the final roster, and half probably won't even make the practice squad. It's a tough evaluation window for the defense, and it's fair to wonder whether the Cowboys should consider bringing in another veteran corner before the season starts. Let me know in the comments, do the Cowboys need to add another cornerback? Type Y for yes or N for no. Before we wrap up, let's give another stock-up arrow to linebacker Jack Sanborn. He's been operating at middle linebacker alongside Kenneth Murray and made several nice plays during day one. Sanborn followed Eberflus to Dallas for a reason he clearly believes he can earn a significant role here. And with DeMarvion Overshone still working his way back from injury, that linebacker duo of Sanborn and Murray may be your Week 1 starters. We've got a lot more minicamp coverage coming your way, but we're also closing in on a milestone just 41 subscribers away from 217,000. If you love Cowboys content year-round, help us hit that mark by clicking that subscribe button now. More updates, battles, and standout moments still to come as minicamp continues. Stay tuned and let us know your thoughts down in the comments.